and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is about that time. Keep your hands up and keep your head on a swivel. The Haymakers and Submissions podcast is here. We woke up and chose violence today. Stick and stay for combat sports talk at its finest, coming your way now. Once again, welcome everybody to the Haymakers and Submissions podcast. My name is Drew. My partner's name is Chops. We're going to talk some combat sports today. But first, Chops, how you doing?
Man, I'm good, man. Weather's being a little iffy, you know what I mean? It was nice over the weekend, got together, family lake house, do a little fishing, enjoyed that. Last couple of days since, it's been nice. So I think we're supposed to get some cold weather here next couple of days. Now, again, don't forget, for me, 40s is cold now. 40s is cold. Even though I was born and raised in Pittsburgh, 40s is cold for your boy now, man. I can't do it. I can't do it. You know, so it is what it is. But everything, you know, is maintained. I'm just every day, I'm hoping that the warm weather just kicks off. You know what I mean? And technically, we're only supposed to have highs in the high 50s and low 60s over the next couple of days. Now, next Friday and Saturday, we're supposed to hit 71, 72 again. We hit 76 a couple times last week. That's what your boy was. That's what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? That's what I want. But then I call home, you know, I want to go, you know, see friends back home to Pennsylvania, whatever have you. And they're saying, oh, it's nice today. It was 42. Nah. But I remember when I thought that was nice weather. You know what I mean? I can't do it. But other than that, man, everything is everything.
That's cool, man. Yeah, up here, let's see. It was 53 degrees today here. It rained all day. That's typical.
And I think we're expected to get rain tomorrow, like tonight. And tomorrow is supposed to be rain and some wind. And then I think over the weekend, this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we're supposed to have a good chance of getting some rain. So,
well, it sounds like a great weekend to hunker down and watch some UFC 313 that's coming up on Saturday, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, we don't have college football anymore. So, yeah. So, but yeah, man, I am. And it's kind of weird that you mentioned that. They're not weird, but I'd like to wonder if boxing and UFC or somebody MMA, they sort of know each other's schedules. You know what I mean? Because even though they're worried about their sport, they do realize that crossover could help, because we had a big fight last week, which we're going to get into. Yep. We have a nice card this week, you know? And with that UFC 313, I'll be honest with you. For me, I'm liking the entire card. I'm liking the entire card. But a lot of the fans who aren't into the entire card, they may not like it the way that I like it. You know what I mean? And so I get that. So what I will do, though, is in talking about what we've got going on, I'll look at just the two biggest fights. You know what I mean? Now, there are some other guys on the card that you'd want to check out. You know what I mean? But again, I won't even get into that. However, when you have I don't want to say the co-main event, but it really could, because the guys that are in it, Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. Now, technically, these two cats fought about almost 2 years ago to the day. It was later in March, but they fought in March in 2023, and it was a hell of a fight. I mean, it was a good ass fight. Gaethje got the win. But when I'm telling you, they could fight this in a phone booth, they could have. And I mean, they're throwing leather. Now, the crazy part is they're only 155, where, you know, you and I love boxing. Mm-hmm. So we're seeing guys that are 130. Well, let's go to Inoue, who's 122. But you got guys from 122 like Inoue, 130, 135, 140, that are throwing heavy leather for their size.
Oh, yeah.
And you take that into consideration. These cats with UFC, they still get their hands wrapped. They're only using 4-ounce gloves. You know what I mean? So, and these cats love to throw. They love to throw. So you got Rafael Fiziev and you got Justin Gaethje. Gaethje, he truly goes out on his sword. He leaves it all in the octagon. He's coming off of a loss to Holloway. It was a good fight until early on. I don't know if it was end of the first or end of the second. Holloway threw a spinning back kick and Gaethje went to duck, and it was a spinning back kick to the head. Boom, kicked him in the face, broke his nose, and you could tell Gaethje wasn't the same from then on. Your boy Fiziev, he is coming off a two fight losing streak. One was the Gaethje, and that was in March of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And then in September of 2023, he fought a guy, Garmo, and he ended up tearing his knee up. Fiziev tore his knee up to the point where he ended up losing that fight because he had to stop. He couldn't go anymore, right? This is his first fight back since that injury in September of 23. So you're looking at almost 2 years out of action, right? So some guys may say, let's get a tune up. Let's get something to knock the ring rust up, they say in boxing. If you're a contender and you're a big time name, I'll be honest, whether you're a fan of Dana White's or not in the UFC, you got to admit, he does not give easy fights, really. He just really doesn't. I'll give him that. Even when Brock Lesnar came over from the WWE, mm-hmm. he started out with the guy, I can't think of his name. He something, whatever. Then after that, he was in there with big names. I mean, he was in there with big names. So, and I hate that I'm drawing a blank with it. But even, CM Punk, he came in, Mickey, and he fought some guy. When you come in, Ronda Rousey, she had some top guy. When you come into UFC, Dana doesn't really give you any cream puffs. You know what I mean? So having said that, Fiziev is coming back off 2 years off. Now, it goes one of two ways. You could look to the point where I'm truly healthy now, and I feel better, and I feel good, and sparring in camp has went well. Sparring is not live fighting. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you can look at it as I feel great. I haven't had any real issues with my body and I'm good. Or it could be, I don't know, because it's been 2 years. Do I have ring rust? And with Gaethje, you don't have time to really get your timing. You don't have time to poke and prod to start to get his timing to read his game because you've been out of it so long. Your timing is off. Gaethje is going to be on you like a shark to blood. That's just his style. He doesn't know another way. And the crazy part is Gaethje is wrestled in college. He's a wrestler at heart. But I think if you told me Gaethje has less than 5 fights in his entire less than 5 takedowns in his UFC career or his MMA career, and I think Gaethje's had like 30, 31 fights somewhere around in there. I don't think he's had more than 2 or 3 takedowns in his career. He likes to bang. Yeah. So come Saturday night, I expect the same thing. Gaethje wants to get back on that winning edge. Now, Gaethje is 36. And he's a young 36, like just turned 36, where you have Fiziev, I think, 33, 30, 32, 33, something like that. So neither one are still in their prime. Fiziev, age-wise, would be closer to his prime than Gaethje, but you got 2 years off. So I'm interested to see how that plays into it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you now, leather's going to fly. Look for both guys' legs to be chewed up from kicks, leg kicks. It's going to be brutal. Gaethje does a leg kick where it's almost a soccer ball kick where he'll do a running start and take 2 almost full strides to throw that leg kick. And you're like, that. And on that one, he's going almost shin to shin where he's beating his own leg up, but he's willing to beat himself up to beat you up. You know what I mean? Yeah. And Fiziev, before he got hurt, and it was an injury, not just hurt, it was an injury that he couldn't come back from, or it took 2 years to get right. He can be hit with a cinder block, and he's going to keep coming. Gaethje is going to give as good as he got. In his last one, he literally had lost almost every round, didn't look good against Holloway after that broken nose. Holloway was picking him apart. And towards the end, Holloway always does this for like the last 10, 15 seconds of the fight. Let's do it in the middle of the octagon. And they did it. And they're throwing haymakers. And literally, with a second left, Holloway just caught Gaethje. When I tell you Gaethje falls, hands to his side, boom. If you'd have told me he'd have broken his neck, I'd have believed it. Only because the way his head hit, it could have chipped a bone in his neck. You know what I'm saying? But he fell face first. The crowd loved it, whatever. But that's the type of fighter Gaethje is. So this is going to be a good one. And because of the layoff, I'm going to go with Gaethje. It's going to be entertaining, but I'm a Gaethje guy. I'm a Gaethje guy. And if you look back, there have been a lot of big name fighters that had not been the same after they fought Gaethje because he just brings it. He just brings it, and he's not going to stop. and win or lose, you're going to know you were in a fight. You're going to know it. So I'm going to go with Gaethje over Fiziev in that one. Now, the main event of the evening, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
That is going to be Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev, right? Ankalaev or whatever have you, Ankalaev. Now, with that, here's the thing. Normally, Pereira is so much bigger, as in taller than his opponents, weighs in at 205, then he'll go back up to 230, sometime before fight night. But Ankalaev is still about the same. He's 6'2", right? And he could, so these are going to be two big guys. Now, the crazy part is when you look at Magomed, he is from Dagestan. As soon as you hear Dagestan, wrestler all day, the wrestling pedigree in Dagestan. That's where Nurmagomedov comes from. That's where, you know what I'm saying? That's where those guys come from, Dagestan. But the crazy part is, I don't know how many, very few finishes on the ground or submissions does Magomed have if he has any. He might have one or two, but he has a few ground and pounds, but he doesn't have many doctor stoppages through ground and pound or submission stoppages. Now, this is going to come, but I'm telling you now, Ankalaev has to mix into wrestling. You're going to throw a couple of shots to the head and grab a leg. Even if you do some feints for that toe pick, you have to make Pereira believe that you're coming for that takedown. Because if Pereira doesn't believe that you're going to take down and you're just going to stand and kickbox with him, it's going to be a long night. It's not going to, because Ankalaev is not that type of snipe shooter striker. He works hard. He's a pit bull. He grinds it out, but he's not a Adesanya. He's not a Pereira type striker where they're pinpoint act. That's not him. You know what I mean? So but he, as in Magomed, he loves to stand and exchange with anybody. That's what he does. He loves to exchange. I think that's what he or his corner want to do come Saturday. I really don't. I really don't. And what else is interesting? Your boy Pereira will eat up that front leg, whether you're traditional or whether you're southpaw. Depending on what you are, is depending on if he rips up the inside or the outside of that leg. Either one, he's going to throw those calf kicks to slow you down. And if he's eating those calf kicks or throwing those calf kicks against Magomed, that slows him down on his shot because you need that leg to push off of. So that'll be interesting. To me, if he can get Pereira to the ground, he can win this. He can truly win this. Now, if Pereira can fight off his first 2-3 shots, especially if one of them is deep and he can fight it off, that may be what deters Magomed from shooting anymore. But to me, you have to be determined that if I shoot 99 times and you block and you defend and you sprawl, whatever you defend on 99, then that 100th is going to be the one. If I shoot 150 times and you block him out 150, he can't stop because anybody can be knocked out. I get that. You know what I mean? And their guys are throwing big shots, and it's not, like I said, the human chin's not made to take those blows, right?
No.
And they're light gloves. So having said that, anything can happen, but with just the weapons he has, with his hands, with his feet, elbows, the way he just punished Khalil Roundtree, Pereira did in his last fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this is the fight everybody wants to see. Champion Pereira, number one contender, number one contender, in Magomed. So it's going to be a good fight. I do believe it's going to be a good fight. And don't be surprised if he, as in Pereira, just gets caught. That's the only way to me, standing up. Ankalaev beats him standing up because he just doesn't have the toe box. He doesn't have this, I hate to say skill set, but Pereira's world-class standing up. He's a world-class striker.
Yeah.
So, and Pereira is doing something that a champ this day and age doesn't do. I think this is his 4th fight in like the last calendar year. You don't fight that often as the champ, not in this day and age.
We put him a lot, and we just started in October.
Yes.
a lot.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. So I want to say it's like his fourth fight in the last calendar year. So again, they both have, where styles make fights. And this is where, to me, Ankalaev should go dig into his grappling. He may not like it, but he needs to. But on that one, man, I'm going to go with Pereira. I'm holding Champ. I believe Champ is going to hold serve. Champ is going to walk out with his belt. It'll be a good one. It will be a good one. And if you tell me that Ankalaev won, he either wrestled or caught him, just caught him standing up, because he's not going to beat Pereira standing up. It's not going to be like he beat him one round, 1, 3, and 4. Like, no. It's going to be there was exchanging, and boom, he just threw something and caught him.
Makes sense.
You know what I mean? So I'm going with both of the brawlers. I'm going with Pereira, who is, I hate to say a brawler, but he's just with his sniping skills. He's an excellent striker. And I'm going with my man Gaethje. You know what I mean? In 310. But if you guys are out there, watch the whole card. The whole card is going to be interesting. But if you only got time for 2 and you record whatever, those are 2 fights you definitely want to get a hold of.
Very cool. Yep. So it's UFC 313. That's 8 p.m. T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Let's turn to boxing. Hey, we're going to talk Tank Davis. And man, we both had this as a KO. Chops. This is a majority draw.
Yes.
114 on 2 of the cards, 115, 113 in favor of Tank Davis on the one card. So majority draw. Wow, let's talk about this one because there's a lot to talk about. Let's break down this fight. Obviously, okay. Tank was surprised. Roach was disappointed, but he seemed happy that he put in a good effort. Let's talk.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. I don't know did you watch the entire fight? Ring walk and all. Okay. I hope you caught it. I don't know if it was just you and the missus there, if you were in a group with a bunch of guys, but in the ring walk, when he was standing in the tunnel about to come out so the entire crowd could see him, the announcer had made the comment, this could change his life forever. Meaning if he'd have gotten a win.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this did change his life, regardless, even though he didn't come out with the win. So that's number one.
Okay.
On a personal note, I'm going to have to stop. I got to get out of that mindset. To be the champ, you got to beat the champ, because everything is changing these days. Everything is changing. And here's why. Because if we're going back, and I know the Jack Johnson days, and that was the order when they would fight 25, 30 rounds, whatever have you.
Yeah.
Because if you go, okay, so we're going to 12-round fight, but we're not keeping score, but we're going to say he beat A, beat B. B beat A. You know what I mean? Champ is A, B. If you have a clear-cut victor, okay.
Mm-hmm.
If the belt's not on the line and these guys don't have the numbers and the ranking beside them, you could say, and I'd be Roach won that. But now here's the thing. We're saying that because it comes down to that knockdown. Because if there's no knockdown and somebody says Tank squeaked it out by a point or two, okay, but it was that close. Razor's edge, you give it to the champ. So that's where I am. To be the champ, you got to beat the champ. Mm-hmm. And now once you score that knockdown, it's not traditional, but hey, anything other than the soles of your feet touch the canvas, that's considered a knockdown.
Yes, it is.
So in that aspect, I go with Roach. So if these are guys on the ESPN, these guys on the undercard, I go with Roach. But even though I like Tank is the aspect of he brings it, I think he has a lot of too much drama at his press conferences for me. Yeah. But he brings it. He's always there to fight, whatever have you. I'm not mad he didn't lose the belt. And I'm glad it was a draw. I'm glad they did, you know what I'm saying? But I'm glad nobody had it 116, 112 for Roach. Or excuse me, for Tank. I'm glad that he didn't get that, So on that aspect, before we get into it, because I want to hear how your initial thoughts were, I know I have to get away from to be the champ. You got to beat the champ. And I should. But part of me is, you're the champ. You've earned that. I don't want to just take it from you. Yeah, he outpointed you by 1 or 2 points. You work so hard to get there. You know what I mean? So, but I know I got to start judging them fight per fight, taking out who's got the belt, taking out all that. But it was entertaining, a lot better than I thought it'd be. A lot better than I thought it'd be.
Oh, yeah. And so Roach was better than I thought. Tank wasn't as good as I thought he'd be. And you touched on a lot of drama. I mean, let alone the press conferences. I mean, the guys on Twitter every day, there's always something.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's people that love it. There's people like me that are like, man, just get in the ring. Well, he got in the ring. I'll be honest. I had it personally that Roach won it. And mostly because in the back of my mind, that should have been a knockdown. Now, if I take that out of the equation, then it's a draw. Now, if you look at the scorecard, if that's a knockdown, Roach gets a split decision. He would have both the draw scorecards go in his favor. The other one, it still would have Tank up 114, 113. I could live with all those scorecards. I really could. But I don't like that was not considered a knockdown. I want to hear your thoughts. It's like what I don't care what fight it is. I don't care who it is. That is a not. You don't. Okay, I'm from Detroit, right? I'm a Michigan fan. Maybe they should have just said that's okay, Chris Webber. We won't count that timeout. No.
Got it. Yeah.
I mean, it sucks, but it happened. It is what it is. He had a lapse. I mean, I get why he did it. I guess in his mind, he's probably thinking, I'd rather eat the point than get in trouble with my eyesight. I mean, I'm sure there was something in his eye. I mean, he wouldn't have done that otherwise. He had no reason to. But yeah, like I said, I looked at the other judges' scorecards. What I found interesting, though, 2 of the judges had Roach sweeping the last 4 rounds.
I saw that.
Split.
So, which means to tell me you had Roach getting dusted until if he doesn't do that in the last 4 rounds. But see, here's also the same thing. Here's what now let's get into the breakdown of the fight. We're going to get down to the breakdown of the fight. Okay. I don't think I don't think Roach did himself any favors because we know Tank is a notorious slow starter. We know this. You didn't have to get aggressive. You did not have to get aggressive because you can because we've seen first round knockouts. You can't. They'll normally say you can't lose the fight in the first round, whatever have you, or the first few rounds if it goes the distance. But Roach sort of lost this fight in the first few rounds, and I say that because he gave them away. Yeah. I think after 2 or after 5, if after 4, I think it ended up being Tank was 3-1. After 5, I think Tank was 3-2 or 4-1, depending on whose scar you had. Mm. And I'm like, dude, do you realize first round, Tank landed 1 punch. Your boy Roach only landed 3. Yeah. Roach, what are you doing? I don't care if they're jabs. Because you were walking forward, that's called ring control. Yep. You were the aggressor. And if you throw, I don't care if they're jabs. And in the last minute, though, Joe Bosch say you try to steal the round. Yeah, try to steal it. Throw a couple body shots. I don't care if it's 2 or 3. I don't care if you hit elbow. I don't care if you hit glove. Just throw them. Yeah, he didn't do that. He could have stolen the first 2-3 rounds that way. Now, when it's time to get loose, because Tank is going to turn it up after the 6th or 7th, now you've already put money in the bank. A la Teofimo versus Lomo. Yeah. Remember, that's what Teofimo did because Lomo gave those rounds away. Teofimo said, I'll gladly take them. That's where I think Tank did himself an injustice, how he fought the early rounds.
Yeah, I mean, I always reference back to the Hagler-Leonard fight. That's a prime example of what happens when you give away the first 4 or 5 rounds. Hagler gave away the first 4 rounds in that fight.
Yes.
I mean, he did. He didn't do anything.
Nothing.
I get it. You're tough, man, and Tank's tough dude. I mean, I really appreciate his ring generalship and his style. I do. But I agree with you. Roach, all you had to do is just find that jab. Bang, bang, move around. Bang, bang, move around. I mean, it didn't have to be super aggressive, like you said, but be active and score.
Yes. And it's funny now because they're all talking about how Tank beat him twice in amateurs. And we talked about this last week. Who cares? Yeah, that's years and years ago. If you won in amateur and you're saying, and if in your mind, in your camp, that tries to give you any psychological edge, That's ridiculous because it was years ago. You were a better fighter, so you have to assume that guy is a better fighter. You were a different fighter, so you have to assume your opponent is a different fighter. That means absolutely nothing. That means absolutely nothing to me. You know what I mean? On that aspect, because he's bigger, he's faster, he's stronger. You know what I mean? Even if you're fighting at the same weight class, which most likely they weren't, but even if you're fighting the same weight class, just going from a teenager to a young man to a man, your strength goes up. So nothing is the same. So I don't understand why they put that there. You know what I mean? Now, if we fought within the last year, okay, and we're established, okay, it could mean something. They go in a psychological advantage.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that to say the crazy part was, let's go with the middle rounds. I'd like to do this in rounds, right? Yep. We already talked about the first few rounds, how Tank did what he did, slow starter, but Roach didn't jump on that. Now, I don't know if he was new because Tank would turn it on 6, 7, 8. I don't know. I don't know if that's what he was doing. I still think you should have had the wherewithal to throw maybe 5 or 6 more punches, land 2 or 3 more punches, and you win those rounds, whatever. Okay, so we're past that. Tank's MO is known that he's going to start pouring it on, about the 6th? About the 6th or 7th is where he starts pouring on. Mm-hmm. And true to form, ding, ding, that 6th round comes and he's going, going. What stood out to me was it Franklin Figueroa at the 126 a couple weeks ago when we knew, was it Franklin? Where we knew he could do work from the outside? Baldwin, where we knew he could do work from the outside, but when he got inside on Figueroa, he still more than held his own. I think those are those the 126ers we were talking about? They had fought at 122. Man, I want to say Stephen Baldwin. They were on the 22nd card. I want to say the 22nd card.
Fulton?
Fulton, that was it. Fulton. Okay. Yeah. Fulton. Well, we knew he'd hold the outside, but once he got inside, he still did what he needed to do.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
When Tank came on and he was able to close the distance and eat up that real estate when he wanted, and everybody said, okay, this is it. Because let's not forget, Roach is still a 16-1 dog. He was an underdog going into that fight. Huge.
Yeah.
So when he, as in Tank, starts to turn it on 6, 7, or 8, and they both were who they were. And I say that Tank was the aggressor, like he likes to be, in coming forward.
Sure.
But even at the 130 with lesser opponents, when you close the distance on Roach, he made you miss. He threw short punches. He was crisp with his punches.
Yeah.
And I'll be John Brown if he didn't do that. He stayed to who he was.
He did.
He made Tank miss some. He stayed close, right? He hit Tank with a lot of short punches. You know what I mean? So that to me was interesting. That was really, okay. Sit down, got your cold beverage. Mm-hmm. We got a fight, fellas. We have a fight. But the whole time I was worried about, especially when it's those middle rounds, is Tank going to catch him? Is Tank going to catch him? When I'm saying middle rounds, 6, 7, 8, maybe even 9. 6, 7, 8, maybe even 9.
Yeah.
I was worried about that. I really was. Regardless of how well Roach looked, I worried about that. So for me, when Tank did what he was supposed to do and what he's known to do and turn it up into 6th, 7th, and 8th, where he'll get cats out of there, your boy stuck to what he was and had a miss, stayed in the pocket, hit him with short punches, and was crisp with a lot of those. Mm-hmm. So to me, both guys were what they were, and Roach impressed me. Roach impressed me with the fact what he was able to do in those early rounds, or those middle rounds. We're talking middle rounds now. Yeah. What was your take of those middle rounds?
Yeah, that's where I was. I took the glasses half empty look at it. I was thinking, what's wrong with Tank?
Okay.
I'm not, no disrespect to Roach. It's just we all expected he's going to catch him. He's going to catch him, and it's like he's not catching him. And I was like, and I was impressed. I was like, damn, Roach never hurt him really, but Roach was catching him back. He was scoring, and I'm like, oh wow. I was like, wait, we got to fight. But I still, even now they're not like, but won't get 9 through 12. We'll cover in a little bit. But yeah, those middle rounds, like from 5 through 8, I was a little disappointed that Tank didn't do more.
Yeah, and Tank might have won. He wasn't pulling away from him, as in, to me, starting to show his dominance. And he wasn't. Even if you give Tank the round, they weren't. Whoo, yeah, it's only a matter of time. Tank's about to get him out of here.
I wasn't seeing at like a Deontay Wilder fight, where it's like, okay, he's just waiting. He's gonna land that left uppercut and it's lights out, off we go. But I didn't. At that point, I'm thinking in my back of my head, Tank better get a little busier because Roach was hanging right with him.
He really was. He was. So overall, after the middle round, what was your, like we both said, we enjoyed it, and you got from it, Tank didn't turn it on like you thought he would? Is that what you were thinking? Or
yeah, I really did, and I had it 5-3 at that point in favor of Davis. 5 rounds of 3. Through 8 rounds. That's what I had it going into the 9th round.
Okay.
That's where I had it.
So you had it 5-3 for Tank.
For Tank, yep.
Okay. So, all right. So I'll be honest with you. I don't know why I do this. I forget to bring my scorecard. But so I'll give it to you. I don't have everything in front of me, and I'm not going to argue if it was 4-4, 5. But if you had a 5-3, I get it because Tank was whatever have you. But I want to push back on a little bit of that, and I want you to think about this going into as we talk about these last rounds, because a lot of people said, "Why didn't Tank didn't look as good? What's wrong with Tank?" Tank was doing everything he normally does against every other fighter. He comes in those late rounds, he's more, in those middle rounds, he's aggressive. In those middle rounds, he throws heavy shots and he lands heavy shots.
Yeah.
You got to give it to Roach. He wasn't where Davis wanted him to be. He was moving. He was doing this. He was protecting. You know what I'm saying? Because he knew. Now, if anything, to me, I think Roach a few times stood in the pocket more than he should have. That's what worried me. But then I stopped and thought, do you think Roach tasted power and then no longer respected it? And I say that because think about this, man. Think about how many things you've had done in life. I don't care if it's going to the dentist. You make it so bad in your mind. And things are never as bad in real life as they were in your mind. Most things you worry about don't happen anyway. You know what I'm saying? And I was wondering if he was worried about Tank's not there, but Tank's got an iron glove. I don't know.
I would hope not, because that's the cardinal sin against a guy like Tank Davis. I don't care. You can go through 11 rounds. That he still could catch you with that uppercut.
Yeah.
So I don't. Now maybe he felt confident enough where he was trying to bait him.
Maybe.
But then that's where I got concerned about Tank. It's like, why aren't you figuring that out? I mean, walk through him at this point. I guess I didn't give Roach enough respect in that regard that I don't know. Maybe I don't think at any time in the fight Roach hit him hard enough where it was like where he got his attention. Like, I better be careful. I don't believe that's the case.
You don't think Roach hit him hard enough?
No. I mean, I thought he hit him a lot, but I didn't think he hit him hard enough, in my opinion.
Well, here's where, because it is just that, an opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we're going to go 9 through 12, right? We're going to go 9 through 12. Let's not forget, he hit your boy. Roach hit Tank. And Tank, I don't want to say stumbled, but he took a step back or two on the left. Not saying it hurt him. Maybe it caught him off balance, but it definitely made him do a step back in the bucket.
Yeah, I remember that was one shot he did get him.
Now, and also, here's what else I noticed. And I know you noticed it too. You might not have thought about it, but I say this, play it back in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know what Tank's press conferences are. Tank talks a lot of trash. And he was talking to Roach, but then there you noticed a couple rounds where ding, ding, ended around. He touched Roach on the stomach like, yo, good round. That's giving respect, dude. That's giving respect. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you're giving as good as you're getting. You are, right? So
I think he got a good professional respect for him. There's no doubt.
Now he does now. So here's my thing. 9 through 12. To me, banger. Loved it. Loved it. They were banging, they were throwing.
Yes.
But here's what I took from it. I don't want to go into it too long because we got some other things we're going to talk about. I don't want to go into it too long.
Mm-hmm.
However, Tank, I think less of Tank's skill set now than I did before the fight. And here's why.
Yeah.
Because when he fought a guy who had speed and skill set, a true skill set, because don't forget, everybody's saying Tank's ducking guys. These guys haven't earned it. And if you look at it on paper, Roach hadn't earned it. If you looked at it on paper. However, skill set wise, this is one of the best guys he's fought. And Roach was able to take his skill set, the head movement, the quick, crisp punching. He was able to do that. Tank relies on power. Even when he fought a guy like Garcia, who was significantly taller, significant reach, he knocked him down with that overhand left early. He got up, but Garcia never saw it coming. Then he stuck Garcia with a body shot. Garcia left the body open and hit him. Roach stayed to who he was. He stayed in his skill set. Mm-hmm. And when it was time to dig deep, Roach stuck to his skill set. Tank was who he was. He was continuing to throw in the hard punches, the hard barrages. Now, I admit, when you looked at his face at the end of the fight, he didn't look beat up. Roach, Tank looked beat up. Mm-hmm. I'd say Roach's face was a little more red than Tank's, right? A little more red than Tank.
Yeah, I got it right here.
Yeah, okay, yes, okay. And Tank didn't truly land on him hard. Mm-hmm. Roach, to me, landed some significant shots, but I don't think he truly earned Davis's respect is in power.
Now, when you say he landed those shots, are you saying in those last 4 rounds more predominantly? Because I would agree with that.
Yeah. Now, in 5 and 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever have you, Roach would land a shot here or there.
Yes.
But Davis was winning those rounds. Tank was winning those rounds, even though Roach. But at the end, we're talking 9, 10 of the later rounds, Roach was landing more shots.
Yes.
But
he
just didn't have, I don't think he had the power. If Roach were to knock, if you look at some of Roach's knockouts, perfectly placed body shots or hitting cats with shots they didn't see coming.
Yeah.
You're moving up in weight. You're moving up to a stronger guy. Isn't Tank. Even if he didn't, he's truly going to have to hit Tank in this rematch when they have it, if they have it, on the spot with a punch he doesn't see. But I'm telling you now, I'm interested. All right, we're not going to get into the rematch just yet. We'll wait for you. But to me, the last 4 rounds showed that Tank didn't have a toolbox to dig into. He couldn't rely on his jab. He couldn't rely on getting angles. He couldn't rely on baiting the guy with anything. He was looking for that heavy left. He was looking for that power punch. And your boy Roach was determined to keep his guard high and not let him land it. That's what I saw in the last 4.
I agree with you. And now in the last 4, Roach did land a lot more significant shots in those last 4 rounds. No question. I personally, that's where I had it 3-1 for Roach. Some of the judges had split. One judge had it swept for Roach. Not 12. I had it 3-1. So without the knockdown, it wasn't considered a knockdown. So that was that. I had it a draw as a result. But I agree with you with Roach. I'm disappointed that Tank. I know he has a toolbox. You know he has a toolbox. But it seemed like it's not a sound game plan. If that was the game plan, to kind of lay back a little bit and wait for that shot because he thought he could hit him and he didn't have to work too hard at it. I don't like that mentality. To me, the guy in front of you, I don't care who it is, you gotta bring your A game. And why would you change anything about it? If anything, I thought Tank was. It's like almost like he abandoned the plan once they got into the championship rounds. Would you agree with that?
Did Tank abandon the championship? Abandon his game plan?
Yeah, do you think?
Here's the thing. I don't know what his game plan is. Big dog, let's not forget. He's 30-0, 30-0-1 now.
Yeah.
With 28 knockouts.
Yep.
So before this, he was 30-0 with 28 knockouts. I got to believe his game plan is, I'll do this, I'll do that, but eventually I'm going to catch you like the boogeyman. And he just couldn't get that. So, and when I say he has a toolbox, okay, I get that. He does, because he has a jab. but you're not looking for Tank to out jab anybody.
No.
You're not looking for Tank to place well body position body shots. You're looking for Tank to beat you with unadulterated power punches.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So when you look at fighters and you talk about fighters with a toolbox, to me, he's going to beat you with that jab. Ooh, you got to watch out for that nice left hook. He'll hit you with an uppercut. He sets this up. He sets that up. Tank doesn't set a whole lot up as in baiting you with this, that, or whatever, and you drop whatever. No, he's not. But he's just throwing punches, and one is going to land. So I'm interested to see in this rematch, again, if they have it, and they've got you. There's too many people clamoring for it. If Roach stays within himself, how much confidence has he gained by going the distance? How pissed? How much is he in his own mind? No, I'm knocking this fool out this time, which gets out of his game plan for Tank. I'm interested, big dog. Okay, do you think Tank in this one? Do you think Tank went into his toolbox, or was he looked at? I'm not saying Deontay Wilder, bow and arrow, but did you see Tank dig into his bag of tricks 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 rounds trying to set something up? Or did you see Tank throwing with bad intentions every punch looking for the knockout?
He was looking for the knockout. And in a lot of the rounds, I thought. Now here's the thing, at some point, you've got to, if you're not, I guess you don't abandon the game plan, but at some point you got to say, hey, I got to try and set it up better.
Yes.
And that's on his corner. Now I don't know if they were telling him that and he ignored. I don't know. I didn't hear that. But yeah, I mean, at some point you gotta be like, he's not biting. So I gotta try something else to get his attention. I got with my right.
But who knows a fighter better than their corner? And I didn't hear what was going on. But if his corner's not telling him, but then again, if they're not telling him, maybe they know that's not what our guy does. He doesn't set a trap and let you know what I'm saying? I just don't know. But because of the skill set of Roach, because of the newfound confidence of Roach, because of the power of Tank, because Tank may be pissed off now, I'm interested to see how this rematch goes. And I'm praying every day. In training, I don't care if they have it blasting through the loudspeakers. To Roach, do not get out of your game plan. Do not feel good about yourself. Do not stand in front of this guy and exchange punches. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yep.
Because that type of confidence will get you smooth laid out. Counting wins.
Oh yeah.
Smooth.
So you got to figure Tank's going to be more aggressive than this next one earlier.
Yeah.
And Roach, like say they fight again in 5-6 months. Okay, Roach is going to need to be ready for that and be busier too himself.
Yeah. And I'm also interested to see if Roach throws more hooks to the body, followed by the Tyson hook to the body, uppercut straight up, because Tank wants to fight in that phone booth regardless. And at some point, you're going to have to. He will, at some point when he turns it on, it's not that he's going to bend his will to yours, so to speak. I don't want to go that far. But when he's ready to close the distance, he's going to close the distance. You know what I mean? But if you're Roach, I do think Roach has a deep toolbox. And I think you work on things between Saturday night and the next fight. So when Tank takes those early rounds, again, he may be more aggressive. But again, Leopard don't change his spots. You know what I'm saying? So if you're used to taking those early rounds off in a notorious slow starter, let's say he continues to do that, maybe a little bit more aggressive, but he's taking those early rounds, as we all know, to put in his computer, his mental computer, to realize what you're doing. Then by 5, 6, 7, he figures out what you're doing. He's getting a knockout, just going to punish you.
Yep.
But if Tank that's what he does coming into the rematch, if your boy Roach can work on some successful new things and switch it up to where you don't let Tank put all that in his mental computer. So when he's ready to turn it up, now you can switch some things. This rematch can go either way, but I'm looking forward to it. And I'm really interested to see what the odds are now. And now your boy Roach has a chance to feel like what it's at 135. You know what I mean? He's not coming. He's put the weight on. He's good. He can maintain it. He can run it out. He can work. He can put on strength. I'm interested to see this rematch, man. I really am. I really am.
Definitely. Do you think we're going to see it next, or do you think Tank's going to do something in between?
Big dog. I heard somebody saying, and some things I was looking at and reading, the cherry pick that went wrong, right? Because he has been, not calling guys tomato cans, but like I said, he's avoided some guys saying he's cherry picking. And if he cherry picked Roach, it didn't go the way he thought it would go. So at this point, if you fight anybody, unless it's Shakur Stevens, unless somehow him and Devian Haney put their names online, unless somehow Garcia, it's got to be Roach. You can't go with another cherry pick, so to speak, or somebody who doesn't deserve. Yeah, or Lomo. Yeah. I get that. But at this point, I know who Lomo is, but even if it's not a big name, maybe Lomo needs a tune-up because you've been out of it for a while. You know what I mean? But big dog, honestly, but even if you take Lomo, you're going to take a guy who's taken more than a year layoff because you're afraid of. I don't see how he gets out of this without fighting Roach first and catching more flack for it. That's all I'm saying. Yeah,
and realistically, I don't think there was talk that they made that this decision may be overturned. Now I'm reading that's not the case. I think
big dog, and I'm glad it isn't. And here's why: walk away with the draw and be happy. Because even if he'd have been lost 115, 113 on a lot of people's scorecards, he'd still earned bigger names, and you know what I mean, whatever have you. But I'm glad they didn't, because like you and I said, when we talk on a text thread. Now, if people had privy to our text thread, they'd be like, "Man, I wish they talk about that." But don't do that to that kid, man. Don't do that to that kid, because now you give it to him after it's over. Hey, just give him a call and announce it on internet. Nah, don't do that, because he wanted in front of those 19,000 at Barclays Center. I think it was the second biggest live event they've ever had. He wanted to hear and knew. Yes. You don't get that. That feeling is what he worked his tail off for, man. You don't do that to him.
Here's the thing. You don't run anything back like that. You don't say, okay, then let's give the Pistons the NBA championship back in '88 because the Kareem Phantom foul, that wasn't legit.
Yeah. You know what though bothered me, man? I don't know how many fights this guy, I think his name was Willis, Steve Willis, the ref. I don't know how many fights he's done, and
I've seen him a lot.
Okay, and I don't know how many of this caliber.
Mm-hmm.
But whether it's Cheatham, who just did a fight, who had a scorecard that was way off, Sue Bird is now out, whatever have you. We don't have the Mills Lane, the Joe Torres anymore. You know what I mean? We don't have those guys. But here's the thing, man. That guy, what did he get? I want to say four low blow warnings to Tank. You don't give 4 low blow warnings in a fight. 2, once you go 3, the next one, I'm definitely deducting a point. You give him 4, then you don't realize what a knockdown is. That's crazy. You took a knee. There's no timeout in boxing. Are you kidding me?
That's where I have a real. I've never had a problem with him as a referee until that fight. Yeah, he screwed up. He dropped the ball. I mean, Tank took a knee, and that's that. That's not the standing 8 count, automatic.
And the crazy part about it was when Tank beat Garcia, he hit Garcia with the body shot. Garcia backed up, then went to his knee. Tank got right back up. Garcia didn't. But as soon as Garcia went to a knee, the ref started counting. That's a knockdown. Garcia took a punch. Yep. He took a punch. And there was a round where they were saying seconds out, and your boy Tank sat on his stool an extra 3 to 5 seconds longer than he should have. So that referee, to me, man, I'm not going to say he cost, but he did cost David or Roach his night. He really did.
Bottom line, going by the judges' scorecards, if he gets a knockdown in the 9th, he wins 2 of the 3.
No, and you got to take that point because of the low blows, and that's not judgment. And I mean, any word judgment call.
Then it's a majority decision.
Yes. Yep. Yes. That's well, yeah, because then the one guy would have he just would have
been a draw then.
He robbed Roach of his night. Real quick, man. We only got a quick 10 minutes. We got your boy Keith Thurman.
One time.
Yes, one time for your mind. One time. Okay. He is going against boy Brock Jarvis, right? Brock Jarvis. Here's the thing. We look at the age, skill set wise, and what he's done and who he's fought. Thurman's resume is significantly more impressive.
Absolutely.
But why does Keith take so many layoffs? Why does he take so many layoffs? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I said, his only loss was to Manny, and he started off strong in that fight.
He did.
Manny being Manny just ended up wearing him out. You know what I'm saying? And again, Jarvis, his big name was against Liam Perro and got knocked out. You know, he got beat first round. Mm-hmm. So to me, again, I like Thurman just because of his toolbox, if nothing else.
Yep.
If nothing else, to me, you've got to go. You've got to go with Thurman on this one. To me, I mean, we and I will break down. I jumped ahead of myself because of time, but I do want you to give yours back, and I'll go back to why I picked Thurman after.
Oh no, I'm with you. I admittedly don't know much about Jarvis other than the Pereira fight, which obviously didn't end well for him. I would expect. I know Thurman's had the layoff, but here's the thing: if he's going to continue and try to get another fight or two, a big money fight or two, he's got to win this He's got to win this and get a stoppage.
Yeah,
he's got to be winning convincingly. I'm not saying he has to put his lights out in round 3, but I would expect to see him outbox him and wear him down by round 8 or 9 to see Brock on the canvas, and that's that. That's what I'm looking for. If he doesn't, if it goes the distance and he wins it and it's kind of shaky, it might be time to say enough at that age and to have a performance that's not at the par. Ooh, I don't know. I like Keith Thurman a lot, though. I am a fan. I respect him a lot. I think he's a good fighter and seems like a good dude too. So I hope he's successful. I want to see him again.
Okay, now here's the thing. When you say Keith Thurman and like you look at his record, 1 loss to Pacquiao, that ain't bad. I really want to talk on that. However, let's go stick with Jarvis. All right, don't forget after your boy Pacquiao, he came back and beat Barrios by unanimous decision. Barrios ain't no joke. You know what I'm saying? He's no joke. So he, as in Thurman, he has the skill set. Thurman definitely has the skill set. You know what I mean? Now, I will admit, Barrios, that was what, man? And Barrios only has 2 losses. And his 2 losses, which to me was very brave, he fights Gervonta Davis and then Keith Thurman. So those are his 2 losses back to back. You know what I'm saying? So, and he took Davis to the 11th, and Thurman went the distance. So Thurman has a toolbox. Thurman has the skill set.
Yeah.
To embarrass Jarvis. However, and he is 36. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. What is it? And Jarvis is what, 29? So 7-year difference. But he, as in Thurman, is not the typical 36-year-old because he takes such long layoffs.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? He truly gives his body enough time to heal. So because of what he knows, if he gets hurt, how he know, and well, I can't even say that. I would like to say that if he gets hurt by a shot, he knows how to cover up, which he should, but he's never really been hurt. He was against Manny, you know what I mean? And that was what it was. But having said that, there's nothing I see that tells me Jarvis can win this fight except a puncher's chance. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even really going to say a puncher's chance because how many knockouts does Jarvis have? I don't think he's got a whole lot. And it's against, fighters that aren't.
But it's impressive. He's got 20 KOs and 23 fights. He's got 22 wins and 20 KOs. That's impressive. But he didn't fight really anyone of note. Yeah.
And the one he does that throws back, he got knocked out. You know what I'm saying? So you can't go by records for him, but you can on your boy Thurman because he's been in there. And I don't know why. He's done this for a couple years. Where he'd fight, I think he fought in 17, didn't fight again until 19. Now he's taking more layoffs. So Thurman has had, this is not new. He'll take some layoffs. He takes layoffs. So I'm interested to see how that goes, what he does in this one. But honestly, Big Dog, if we're going to be honest with you, toolbox for toolbox, skill set for skill set, I don't see how Jarvis wins this. I'm going to go with Thurman. And I'll be honest with you, Thurman, get inside that. Here's where Jarvis could win it. saw a couple press conferences with him. Thurman does not respect his power nor his record. So he's always, what have you done? What have you done? Who have you beat? I don't want him to get in there and try to walk through what Jarvis throws. I don't want him to underestimate Jarvis's speed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That could be his downfall. That could be his downfall. So to me, if Thurman gets KO'd, he loses or he gets beat 116, 112, or he gets beat by 3-4 points, it's over. If Thurman wins, not convincingly, but it was easy. It was his fight. You could put in a layoff. You could put in an age difference. You could put in a speed difference. If there is a speed difference, which we need to see. So I'll give it that. But because of his layoffs, that's what I think people will still give Thurman the doubt. And he's like, whoa, he's back. You know what I'm saying? But then if he doesn't look well but still wins, was it because of the layoff? And what will he look like if he starts to fight regularly again? Because big dog, you're seeing guys fighting 36, 37, 38, 40 now.
40, yeah. Oh, yeah. So absolutely. Yeah.
We'll see. What do you think breakdown wise, skill set wise? What are you looking for in that?
I want to see him crisp. I want to see a rejuvenated, well rested fighter who I expect to have some ring rust. Don't get me wrong, but I expect him to be crisp. I want to see that crisp jab. That he's got a nice jab. I mean, his cross is nice. So I want to see that. It's almost like, I don't want to call it a spring training game because this counts, but it's almost like when you watch a pitcher in spring training, because it's spring training now, right?
Yeah.
You're looking. I don't care if they hit 3 home runs off the dude because he's only throwing fastball changeups. But I want that fastball to have movement. I want that fastball to have location. That's what I'm looking for. I don't care about what happens after the fact because he's not. Everyone knows he's not unleashing the other 2 pitches in his arsenal, the splitter and the curve.
Okay. Yeah. You want him to be able to place that fastball. Yeah. Nice placement. I got you.
Exactly. So with Thurman, I'm looking for, if it goes the distance, okay, I'm cool with that. But to your point, I want to see that, there's no doubt, though, he won the fight.
I got you.
If he struggles and goes the distance and squeaks one out, I'm concerned. As much as I would be if he loses. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. Well, it depends because, like you said, if he goes the distance and he wins in spectacular fashion. But also, there, like you said, spring training. This could be something. Let me get some rounds. But you need the rounds because you continue to take long layoffs. But if you're also getting these rounds, you never play with your food because you ever give a chance. You always try to get a guy out of there, right? Yeah. So I can understand why some guys want the rounds. It's been 2 years, you know what I mean? But also in the same token, what would it be if he, as in Thurman, can get a nice knockout or a nice nasty win, quick, or just dominate him? How much does that bolt him up? And can he have a top 10 guy here next because of his name?
I totally agree with that. I think the best bet here is for Keith Thurman to feel him out for the first couple rounds and then go to work and end this. I'm giving Jarvis the benefit of the doubt. I think it'll go a little later, but I want to see Thurman get a stoppage, and absolutely I don't know who, but there's no question with his resume. Oh yeah, he's a money fighter. I mean, people. I mean, at this point, to say that no one's a money fighter, I mean, it's like, okay, there's only one Tank Davis, there's only one Bud Crawford, there's only one Canelo. I mean, they got to fight other guys. So I mean, it's like the biggest names out there are who we got to fight, and if it's Shakur Stevenson, then cool. If it's Keith Thurman for somebody else, okay, cool. But let's see it. But hey, we're almost out of time, but it's been a great show. Next week we will talk in more in depthly about the Turkey Dana White deal with that's going to be big. So we will talk about that. Could be very good, could be detrimental. We'll talk about that. We'll see. But he's Chops. I'm Drew. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to us, and don't forget to follow us on YouTube, and don't forget to watch us on the ESPN network every Friday night at 10 p.m. Take care, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you for watching the Haymakers and Submissions podcast. You can find us on the ESEN network on the Roku app every Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time beginning on October 4th, 2024. Check us out on Twitter X. Our handle is @HeySubPod, capital H, capital S, capital P. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss a single episode. Just go to your web browser and type in www.youtube.com/@Haymakers and Submissions Podcast, as we will drop content weekly. Whether it's boxing, MMA, or wrestling that gets you fired up, you'll get all you need right here at the Haymakers and Submissions Podcast.